So in the previous session, we have discussed about client-side controller, and we have discussed what exactly the client-side controller and how can we implement the client-side controller by using JavaScript functions, and what exactly the syntax we used to follow to prepare a JavaScript function, and what each parameter in this syntax will indicate. We have discussed, and then we have discussed a practical use case. Upon click on this button control, okay, upon click on this button control, how can we invoke the JavaScript function to perform certain operation to show some message we have discussed in the previous session. Now today we'll see how can we pass the input value to the component dynamically at runtime. Then how can we pass the input values to the component dynamically at runtime? As of now, what we did, simply we have a Lightning component. On this component, we have placed some buttons. This is one button control, like some button 1. I have another button control, which is some button 2. We have prepared some JavaScript functions, like some function 1. We have written some logic. We have prepared some function 2. We have some logic. And then once the functions are ready, then we have implemented the feature. Upon click on the button 1, we are invoking this function. Upon click on this button 2, we are calling this function 2. In this function, we are going to be writing the business logic which we want to perform. Now, fine. But now my requirement is not only invoking the functions directly here. Now I want to pass some input values to my Lightning component also dynamically at runtime. Whenever if you want to pass some values to the component dynamically at runtime, then we have to place some text boxes. We have to place some text boxes here. Then, so in this case here, whenever we are using the Lightning component, we can pass some input values to the component dynamically at runtime with the help of text boxes. Now, in the case here, based on the input values which we have supplied, by using the button, we can perform some actions on that. Like for example, I have a login screen. In that login screen, we are passing two input values, username and the password. Then click on login button. Then it will validate the data here. That means what? We are passing two input values, both will be of type string. One is username, second one password. Now, like the similar way here also, as part of my requirement, I don't want to execute always the same code every time. I want to pass some input values at runtime. Then how can we pass the input values to the component at runtime? Now let's see. So for that reason, we are using the help of the methods called as get method and the set method. Now get method and the set method. Now, so then what exactly this get method, what exactly the set method, okay, now let's see practically here. Now let me explain. For example, I'm designing a small component right now. I'm designing a small component. I'm placing the text boxes. I'm placing the text boxes. Enter first number. Then enter second number. And then operation result. Operation result. So these are the three text boxes over here which I would like to place. I want to place these three text boxes. I want to place these three text boxes. I want to place these three text boxes here. There is the first text box to enter the first number. There is the second text box to enter the second number. The third text box to represent the result. And I'm placing the buttons over here, like addition button, subtraction button, multiplication, and the division. These are the four operations. Okay, I would like to perform over here. I want to perform these four operations. Now I'm placing the button controls. Add, subtract, multiply, and the division. Now, in this case, what needs to be done? Inside this text boxes, I want to give some watermark, like first number. I'm giving the watermark second number. Third one, a result. Now, these are the text boxes here. Now, in these text boxes, I'm entering some value. For example, here I'm giving the value 2500. Here I'm giving the second number value 450. 450. When I click on this addition button, what needs to be done? I want to collect both the values. I want to perform the addition operation here. But in this case, where we can do this operation inside the JavaScript. So we have to prepare JavaScript over here, JavaScript function. In this JavaScript function, in this text box one, whatever the value we have collected, that value we need to get it over here. Get the value, okay? Get the value of this text box and store into the variable some, okay? First number here, fn. Get the value of the second number text box, store the value in second number variable. Then we can able to take this value. That means inside this text boxes, what are the values that we have entered? These values I want to get into controller. That means JavaScript. So in that case, if you want to get the value of the component into your client-side controller, we are using the help of get method. Get method is used to get the value of a component into your client-side controller. That means in order to get the value of a text box into the client-side controller, we are using get method. Now, in this case, in order to get the value from the text box one, that means from component, because this is a text box component. From component to the JavaScript controller, we are using get method. Here also we can able to get the value from this particular text box, and then we can store into the respective variables. Because this is a numerical value, this is also numerical value. So to store these two values, I'm defining two variables over here. Now these variables, whatever the variables we are defining in JavaScript, these are called as properties. Okay, instead of using the name variable, here they are using properties. JavaScript property means JavaScript variable. Simple concept here. Now. So now in this case, now we are collecting both the values. Then what we will do, we'll perform the addition operation. Like for example, result equals to first number value plus second number value. I will be performing the addition of both the values over here. Whatever the two values we have received, both the values we are collecting over here, and then we are going to performing the addition operation. We are performing the addition operation over here. Now, in this case over here, let's see. Now, we are going to be performing the addition operation over here. Once the addition operation has been done, then what we need to do, this result operation value, we need to store into result text box. So in that case, what needs to be done? We need to set this value. So this value we are going to be setting to result text box. For that one, we are using set method. Okay, set method. So get method is used to get the component value into client-side controller. Set method is used to set the variable value into component here. That means bidirectional communication here from component to controller, controller to component. Because operations will be always done inside the controller side. So that whatever the input values that were prepared, we need to collect those values over here. Once the values has been collected, then we can do the required operation, and then we can able to set the value to that respective variable onto your component over there. For that reason, here we are using the help of get and set methods. Now, so in this case, while using this component here, okay, whenever we are using these components, we can set the value or we can get the value, okay, of the component into the client-side controller. We are using the help of get and set methods. Get method is used to get the value of the component, okay, into client-side controller. And then how can we set the value? So now this method is used to set the value to that component, okay, from the client-side controller here. Now, to get the value from component to controller, get method. To set the value from controller to component, we are using set method. Two methods are available here. Now, in this case, how can we do that here? In this case, how can we do? Now, let me show you with the practical use case over here. Now, what is the syntax we used to follow? Now, let's see. Get method. While building the lightning components, we can supply the input values to the component dynamically at runtime, and we can perform the required actions. We can perform the required actions based on the input values, and we can represent the result on the component. Now, in this case, so now to supply, that means to get the values. To get the values and to set the values to the component, we have to use the help of get method and set method. Then, what is this get method? What is this set method? Now let's see. Get method. Get method is used to get the component value into JavaScript controller. JavaScript controller. Get method is used to get the component value into JavaScript controller. That is, we can get the text box value into the client side controller. Controller at runtime. Then what is the syntax we used to follow? In that case, we need to specify a syntax. Controller and store the value inside the JavaScript property. Syntax. We can specify where JavaScript variable name equals to component dot find. Component dot find. In this one, we need to specify the reference name. Now we can specify the reference name. That means unique name. Dot get of v dot value. Get of v dot value. That means what? Now please go to the component. That means this is going to referencing current component. Current component. That means in that lightning component, find for the control. That means text box. Because as part of my component, we have 3 text boxes are available. Now search for the text box based on this name. So because that already told you, for every component, we can able to give a unique reference name based on that unique reference name. Here we can able to go to the text box over here and then get what we need to get value. I want to collect the value of that component. So in this current lightning component, go to this particular text box. In the text box, whatever the value we have entered, collect this value and store into the variable here. Store into the variable. Now, then how can we do that? Okay, now let me show you here. Let me explain that. How to place this text box components. Okay, now let me show you. For example, I'm using lightning input. Label equals to enter first number. Here we are using a property called as ARA ID. That means a unique reference name we can specify. EF number. There is a text box over here. To collect this value in JavaScript, what we can do here, where F number equals to our first number equals to component dot get of F number. That means the unique reference name dot get of, so component dot find. All are small letters only here. Dot get of v dot value. So in this particular component, whatever the value that we have entered, we can collect it. Like the second text box also, I'm placing one more. Enter second number. This is some yes number. Here we can use where second number equals to component dot find second number dot get of v dot value. We are collecting the value over here. So that here, whenever if you want to collect the value from the component to your JavaScript okay, properties, we are using the help of get method. Okay, understood the point over here? Now,
Hi, Feroz. Hello.
yes, tell me. Yes, tell me.
Yeah, I didn't follow the sessions past over 1 week. Is there
Okay.
any changes in the timings?
No, we haven't changed any timings as of now.
Yeah, today actually.
Today is the only for today and tomorrow I change the timings here because most of the people are going for the vacations because of the elections in Telugu states over there. That's what here.
Right.
Here I'm also out of station now. That's what today and tomorrow only I have made the sessions only at morning 7:30 because
Okay.
I have cancelled all the sessions also. I don't have any other sessions. That's what instead of having the session at 9 o'clock, I'm having it 7:30 because I'm also having some personal work. That's what here I'm out of station and then I don't have any other sessions. Okay, for these next 3 days. So instead of having it 9, I have made it 7:30. Till yesterday only we
Okay.
have sessions in normal timings, no changes.
Yeah,
Same
yeah.
link and then same timings. We haven't changed anything.
Yeah, okay, okay, thank you. And this course will be completed by May 14th?
Yes, we'll be completing that one.
LWC.
We can't say this. No. LWC was starting from 15th.
Okay.
LWC will be starting from 15th. Okay, we are going to
Okay.
be completing this ARA programming by 14th, and then from 15th onwards, we're starting LWC features, Lightning Web
Okay.
components.
Okay.
Then all the features will be repeating again. Okay, there
Okay.
same text box, buttons, and pick list, and then we are having checkbox controls also, and then tab controls. Everything will be repeated again. Same
Okay.
components will be there in ARA and LWC, but little bit differences, some syntax difference, some property differences. You'll be having the features. Everything will be repeating again here. But there we'll be using purely like Visual Studio Code Editor to build the components.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Feroz.
Okay. Now, second one, set method. So what do you mean by this is set method? Basically, set method is used to set the value to the component from client side controller. From the client side controller, we can able to set the value to the component. It's like as input and output. Input we are passing through get. Get means we can collect the input. Set means we can set the output. We can print the output on that. Now in this case, set method is used to represent the values onto your component from client side controller. Now, set method is used to set the component values from JavaScript controller. For example, that is, once operations has been done from client side controller, then we can represent the results onto the Lightning component by using set method. Syntax. In that case, what we can do, component dot find, that means in which component you would like to set. We need to specify the component reference name, unique name, dot set. We can specify the value. What value you would like to set, we need to specify that value over here. So whatever the value that we have prepared, v dot value. Inside that component here, we need to set the value. What's value here? We can specify the variable name here. Now, variable name. Now, this is a functionality. That means in this particular variable, whatever the value is available, please set the value for this particular component here. Now, this is a functionality. For example, we have received these two values, first number, second number. Let's see. In that case over here. Now I would like to represent here. This is the third component. Lightning input label equals to operation result. And then RID result. In this case, what we can do, we are indicating where operation result equals to first number value plus second number value. We are performing this. This value, this operation result, I want to set to my text box. So in that case, we can specify component dot find. Here we can specify result dot set. V dot value, we can specify the variable name. That means operation result. In this operation result variable, whatever the value is available, this value I would like to set to my component here. That's it. This is how we are going to pass in the value. We can get, we can set. So we can pass the value from the Lightning component to JavaScript, and we can set the value from component to JavaScript to component. both bidirectional navigations we can implement. Now, so in this case, how can we do this one? Now let me show you with the practical use case. I want to build this functionality. Now what I want to do is, I want to build a small basic calculator. I want to build a small basic calculator. How can we build the basic calculator? Now let me show you with a practical use case. Now let me take that use case. Design a lighting component to build basic calculator component to perform all the mathematical calculations. Now let's see how can we do that. Then how to implement this functionality? Now let me show you with the practical use case. Now I'm going to my Salesforce org. Let's go to the developer console. Now I'm going to be creating a component now. I'm creating a new lighting component. So lighting component, basic calculator component, basic calculator component. So now in this component, I would like to place the text boxes, 3 text boxes, and then 5 buttons to perform some actions. I'm using the div tag. Here I'm going to be specifying the text boxes first. Lightning input label equals to enter first number, and then placeholder equals to first number. That means watermark. RID equals to F number. That means RID means it's a property which is used to give you a unique reference name for the text box. Because on a single component, on the single screen, we can have multiple text boxes may be available. So to recognize each and every text box, I'm using this unique reference name. Next, second text box, lightning input label equals to enter second number. Placeholder equals to second number. RID equals to yes number, second number. Third text box, lightning input label equals to operation result. Placeholder equals to result. RID equals to result. These are the 3 text boxes which are placed. And then I'm giving a break tag over here. I would like to place some button controls. I'm placing the button controls to perform some actions. Now, I would like to represent. I want to place the buttons in the center point over here so that I'm using paragraph tag. I'm indicating align equals to center. I'm placing the buttons. Lightning button. I'm indicating label equals to addition. Label equals to addition. Lightning button. Label equals to subtract. Lightning button. Label equals to multiply. Lightning button label equals to division. Lightning button label equals to modulus. Modulus. These are the various components here. Now we have placed 3 text boxes. Okay, to enter the first number, we have placed 1 text box. To enter the second number, I have placed 1 more text box. For the operation result, I'm placing 1 more text box. And then on these input values to perform some actions, I'm placing the button controls like addition, subtract, multiply, division, and the module. Now, so now here we have placed these button components. Now let me apply some style also for this component. Go to the style. Calculator style. I'm indicating the width 400 pixel, and the border 1 pixel solid block, border radius 10 pixel, margin left 200 pixel, margin top 100 pixel, padding left 10 pixel, padding right 10 pixel, padding top 10 pixel, padding bottom 10 pixel. These are the various styles that I'm applying here. Now this style I want to apply to my div tag. Go to the div tag, class equals to, I'm applying this style. Now let me call this component from the application. Let's see how the designing will look like here as of now. Basic calculator component. Now let's run this. See how the designing part will look like. So now the buttons are having that, okay, side by side, okay, below the button, below also second row also buttons are visible. Let me expand that width. I want to specify the variant property. Variant equals to brand outline. I'm applying that appearance. I'm giving the space also, ampersand NBSP semicolon. I'm giving the space for each and every button control. And then I want to give this width as 600 pixel. Now the left margin will be 300. Let's reload the application now. Now I'm able to see this. Let me give instead of 600, 500 pixel. That is enough. Repeat this. Now let's see. I've given 500 pixels over here. I have placed this calculator component. Here I will enter some value here. Here I will enter some two value. When I click on addition, it has to perform the addition of these two. It has to show the result here, that is 120. When I click on subtract, it has to show the result. That means 80. When I click on multiply, it has to show the value 2000. When I click on division, it should show the value 5. When I click on modulus, it should show the value 0. Like that here. Now, in this case, I would like to perform the respective operations in client side without using any Apex programming code. Without using any Apex programming code, just with the help of this client side by using JavaScript itself, I would like to do all these operations here. Then, how can we write this code? Now, let's see. So now designing part we are done. Now write the client side business logic. Whatever the values we are entering in this text boxes, collect these values and store into your respective variable. And then upon click on the addition button, call that values and we can able to do that. Now let's see. First of all, I'm writing the code for addition. When I click on this button controls right now, nothing is happening over here. Nothing is happening right now upon click on this button controls. Now, when I click on this addition button, I want to collect both the values. I would like to collect these two values. I want to perform the addition. Now let's see how can we do that. Go to the component here, button control. Upon click on this. So on click equals to specify the method name. C dot method name. Now I would like to indicate here. I'm giving the method name as handle addition. That means here, whenever once you click on this addition button, what operation needs to be get performed, how to handle this operation. For that one, I'm preparing a method with the name handle addition. You can give any name, no problem. Now create this class method. Go to your controller file in the component. Go to the controller file. Click on this controller here. Now controller. I'm preparing a method. This is a method handle addition function. It is having these 3 parameters. Now what needs to be done? Collect the 2 values and store into the variable here. So how can we get this here? What are my component unique reference names? That is F number, yes number. These are the 2 values. So in this case, we are using this component dot find. Here we can specify F number. That means first number text box dot get v dot value. That means what? Okay, in this lightning component, find this particular component here, get the value from that component and store into my variable. So I'm using a variable here where first number. Where first number. Now, so now here I'm going to this current component. That means lightning component. In that lightning component, I'm searching for the component. Okay, F number. That means F number means this is the first text box. In this text box, whatever the value that we have, I'm collecting the value. Okay, I'm getting the value. I'm storing into my variable. Like the similar way. Where second number equals to component dot find yes number, second number text box dot get of v dot value. v dot value. Now, in this case, we are collecting second number value. Then third number, that means we need to perform the addition. Then how can we do that? Let's see in this case. Now I'm defining the variable var operation result equals to first number plus second number. I'm performing this addition. I want to represent this value here. Now in this case, we need to specify component dot find. In which component you would like to set this value? My component name is that is result. Okay. Dot set v dot value. That means on this selecting component, go to this particular text box, set the value which is available in the variable that is operation result. But observe what will happen in this case, what will happen here. I'm saving this code. Now I'm saving this controller also, that means component also. So upon click on this button control addition, we are calling the function. Now the function is going to be collecting the first number value and the second number value. It will do the addition of both the values over here, and it is going to be representing the result into my third text box. Let's see what will happen in this case. Refresh the screen now. I'm giving the first number value as 25,000, second number value as of 1500. When I click on addition, let's see what happened in this case. It is representing 25,000 and then 1500. That means what, it is appending both side by side. It is appending, it is concatenating both. But here what I need to do, both are numerical. We need to perform addition. In this case here, when you go to this JavaScript variables, by default it will be considering the variable value as a text. Now we are going to be considering as text. For that reason here we need to convert this value into integer. So that what we can do is we are using the help of a method called as parseInt. Parsing means nothing but converting. So because every now value text box value will be treating as okay string. So now here parse this string value into integer. ParseInt method. It's a built-in method. It's a built-in method that we have in JavaScript, which is used to parse. That means convert this string value into integer. Take that first integer value and the second integer value. Perform the addition. Store the value inside the result here, and then from there you can able to populate to my text box. Now that's it. Over. Let's refresh this screen now. Now I'm giving the value sum that is 7,000. Second number value sum 1450. When I click on addition, now it is indicating this value over here. Okay, 38,450. The value will be represented here. So it is performing addition. Okay, now now we are performing this addition. Like the similar fashion, remaining functionality. Let's see. Now I would like to write that piece of code. Second button here, that is subtract. And click equals to, you can write that. C dot handle subtraction. Handle subtraction. I'm preparing the method. Now I would like to prepare the method over here, comma, handle subtraction, function, we can specify component, event, helper. Write the similar kind of code, same code, nothing different here. We are using subtraction, that means minus. Instead of addition, we are doing minus, comma. Now the third one, multiply. And click equals to C dot handle multiply. I'm preparing the method. Handle multiply, function, component, event, helper. Here also we can write the same piece of code, but I would like to do multiplication over here. Multiply, comma. I'm writing this. And click equals to C dot handle division. Now handle division. Function, component, event, helper. I'm placing this same code. I'm doing the division operation. And click equals to C dot handle modulus. function component event helper. We are using percentage. So these are the 5 methods related code. We have placed these 5 buttons over here: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and the modulus. These are the 5 operations related to the methods we have prepared. In these methods, we have written the business logic. Let's save this code, save all the files, and then we can execute this component over here. Let's reload the application now. Now perform the operation. I'm giving the value, which is some 35,000. Second number value some 1500. Now perform the operations over here. We can see the addition operation result, that is 6,500. Subtraction result, 33,500. Multiplication value also, division value also, and the modulus value also here. All the operations we can able to perform by using this JavaScript. But here we haven't used any Apex class code. So that's what here, as part of this Lightning framework, whenever if you need some functionality to execute from Apex programming, then only go to the Apex. Then only go to server-side controller. Always go with that client-side controller over here. That means a JavaScript. With the help of this JavaScript, implement your own client-side controller and then perform the operations on your browser itself. You no need to have any server trips. Everything we can perform at the client side itself. That flexibility will be available to you. Okay. This is how we are going to be implementing client-side controller, where not only invoking the button, not only invoking the client-side business logic directly upon click on button control, we can pass some input values. Based on the input values also, we can perform certain operations inside your application as well. That facility is available here. Okay. Now, this is how we can do that. Next, in the tomorrow session, we'll see some more functionalities. I would like to show you how to invoke some business logic upon loading the component also. I will show you by using ARA handler. How can we use this ARA handler? We'll see practically as well here in tomorrow's session. Okay.
Hello. Hello. Madam?
Yes, tell me.
Yeah. In the same application, how do you write into the Visual Studio Code?
Now the same functionality we can able to write inside the VS Code editor. Just we have to go to the VS Code editor, create your own Lightning component. Now, already we are having few components are available over there. Already we are having few components are available. Now, like that, we can create your own ARA component over there. Inside that, we can able to write the business logic as well.
Okay, but here there is no controller, there is no component, something like that.
No controller, because we haven't written any controller. There is no controller over here. Now, no controller will be available over here. Because
So
here
in the
this Visual Studio is especially for designed for in order to build the Lightning Web components. There, Lightning Web component bundle will be getting loaded over here. Now, when I go to this, create ARA component, we can specify the name for that component. It will be loading that. Now I'm giving the component name as sample test ARA component. It will create the component for you. Inside this a default folder. It is creating ARA component over here.
Okay.
Now ARA component has been prepared. Here we are having this component. Now we can able to specify the CSS file also over here. Now here we can specify the component details, but no controller file here. Okay, no controller file. We won't provide any controller file by default over here. Now see, I will be having this controller also. Yes, this is the control file. Controller file will be available. You can able to prepare your own controllers also.
So we have to write in a controller file in ourselves only.
We have to write the business logic inside this controller file, because here the whole business logic are writing in the controller file only. When you go to this with the developer console also, here also we are having the same. Whatever the component bundle is available, here also the same component bundle will be available. Just you can able to write the corresponding code. Okay.
So how to run this one? Suppose if we implemented this application, so
We have to deploy
write
to
in-
Salesforce Arc. We have to deploy to Salesforce Arc. Then we need to run from application directly. Like whatever the way we are running in our Salesforce, we can developer console from the application, same pattern we have to follow. But that is only to write the code. That's it. We can develop and then we can deploy to Salesforce Arc. From there, running will be as usual.
Okay. I think this will be explained into the LWC classes, I believe.
Right, right. Okay. And during the LWC, I will be developing every component through with the help of this VS Code editor itself.
Got it. Thank you.
So do the practice on these features today, and then tomorrow we'll be having the session at 7:30 again tomorrow also. In there, I will like to discuss about some more functionalities. Thank you.